Have you ever noticed that sometimes the fear of pain becomes even stronger than the pain itself? Maybe you thought, if I try again, I'll fail. If I exercise, it will make my pain worse. If I trust someone again, I'll only get hurt. I've thought those things. Those thoughts can become prisons. But what if I told you that before you change your life, you first have to challenge the thoughts that are controlling it? Today, I want to share one of the most practical exercises from The Pain Speaks Before You Do, my book, found on page 45, called Challenge Negative Thoughts. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Judith Morales, author of The Pain Speaks Before You Do, where we explore emotional pain, trauma, faith, and practical tools that can help us begin the healing journey. One thing I've learned is this: pain doesn't only affect our bodies, it affects how we think. It affects what we accept. It affects what we expect. It affects the stories we begin telling ourselves. Many of us don't realize that we've accepted fearful thoughts as if they were facts, but they aren't always facts. Sometimes they're simply conclusions we've reached because we've been hurt before. On page 45 of my book, I introduced a simple exercise called Thought Records. The goal isn't to pretend pain doesn't exist. The goal is to ask, is my fear telling me the whole truth? This is something I personally do for myself that has helped me a lot. Let's look at these 3 steps. Step 1, identify the thought. Write down the exact thought that's causing the fear. Not a general feeling, be specific. Instead of saying, I'm afraid, write, I'm afraid that if I exercise, my pain will become unbearable. Or maybe, I'm afraid that if I trust someone again, they'll betray me. Healing begins when we identify what we're actually believing. It's in the revelation that you get freedom. Step 2, examine the evidence. Is this where we become honest? Yes, this is exactly where we become honest. Ask yourself, what evidence supports this thought? Then ask another question that's just as important. What evidence does not support it? Maybe exercise has hurt before. That's real. But maybe there were also times when gentle movement actually helped you feel stronger. I'm a witness to that. Maybe one relationship hurt you deeply, but perhaps not every person has treated you the same way, which is very true. Fear usually shows us only one side of the story. Healing invites us to look at the entire whole picture. Step 3, reframe your thoughts. Now, we create a healthier statement, not a fake positive statement, a balanced one. Instead of saying exercise will always make me worse, you could say exercise may cause some discomfort, but it may also help improve my strength and help me manage my pain. This is something that I've actually been doing to help me continue with my exercising. Because as a teacher, I stand up most of the time, and by the time I get home, my body's tired, my knees are tired, and I have to literally say this to myself. And if I lift that weight, it will make me feel better. And every time after I do, it makes me feel better. But before then, it does not. So I do this little exercise with myself, okay? So notice the difference. We're not denying reality. We're refusing to let fear become the only voice we listen to. This principle reminds me of what Scripture teaches. The Apostle Paul tells us to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. That tells me something important. Transformation doesn't begin with our circumstances. It begins with our thinking. Fear often says nothing will ever change. Faith asks, what if God is doing something I can't see yet? Fear focuses on yesterday. Faith gives us courage for today and hope for tomorrow. I literally have to make myself do this every single day as part of the reprocessing of my thoughts. Every day, I have to calm my anxiety down of anxiousness, of wanting to do this and wanting to see it now, and say to myself, what if God is doing something I can't see yet? And basically, God is doing something that I can't see yet. I just need to be still, wait, and expect. And every time I do that, God always surprises me. But the challenge is in the slowing myself down, because I'm so used to wanting things like right now, the microwave way. But with this particular exercise, I've learned to teach myself to calm down and to trust God as I'm going through this process, because it is a process. One of the reasons I included this exercise in the book is because healing isn't just about understanding trauma. It's about learning practical ways to interrupt the cycle that trauma often creates. Our thoughts influence our emotions influence our choices influence our future. When we begin challenging unhealthy thoughts, we begin creating space for healthier ones. Over time, that changes the direction of our lives. So today, I want to leave you with one question. What thought have you accepted as truth that needs to be challenged? I'm going to ask you that again. What thought have you accepted as truth that needs to be challenged? Take out a notebook. I encourage you to do that. Take out a notebook. Write it down. Ask yourself, what evidence supports this thought? What evidence challenges it? Then rewrite it with truth, wisdom, and hope. Rewrite it with truth, wisdom, and hope. That small exercise could become the beginning of a much larger transformation for you. If today's message encouraged you, I invite you to pick up a copy of The Pain Speaks Before You Do. On page 45, you'll find this thought records, exercise, and other practical tools designed to help you reflect on fear and begin changing the way you respond to it. If this video encouraged you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need hope today. Remember, healing often begins with one changed thought. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.